Word form 30.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm on track. I'm ready.
I'm on track. I'm ready. Let's go.
The triangle of reality.
Lesson 3.
The triangle of reality. The triangle of reality is an extremely precious knowledge. Through this knowledge, we can materialize the non-material, informatize, energize, and materialize anything. Even abstract concepts invisible to the human eyes can become tangible, allowing people to perceive and touch them. At the same time, the triangle of reality helps us know how to receive and transfer reality simply. A person who knows the triangle of reality no longer goes to school, they go to receive reality. If they have material, they enforce information and energy. If they have energy, they reinforce information and material. So what is the application method of the triangle of reality? Let's find out. Introduction of the triangle of reality. Anyone among us, no matter where we live in this world, is influenced by three perspectives or views: the moral perspective, the religious belief perspective, and the scientific perspective. Whichever perspective a person leans toward more heavily, the mindset will form according to that view. However, regardless of the perspective, they all greatly respect the formula of energy, information, material. There are two of the many laws governing human's life: the law of cause and conditions, and the law of cause and effect. If we sow a good cause amid favorable conditions, we will reap the desired outcome. So, what is the cause here, and how we sow the good cause? In this section, we will explore the determining cause of human life according to the moral perspective through the knowledge of the triangle of reality. This helps us answer the questions according to the moral perspective. What is the root of our life? Universal structure, information, energy, and material. Anything in this world has its own specific information, specific energy, and specific material manifestation. What information is contained within someone determines the source of energy. We draw a triangle with three corners: information, energy, and material. Any entity in this world contains its own source of energy, has its own internal information structure, and has its own material manifestation. For example, gold and lead have different material manifestation. We look at them and sense the difference. When people measure their energy, the energy contained in gold is different from the energy contained in lead. Studying further, people found that the internal information structure of gold is also different from the internal information structure of lead. Similarly, for humans, the material manifestation for a successful person is completely different from the material manifestation of a failed person. This proves that the energy contained within a successful person is completely different from the energy of a failed person. This is because they contain different information inside. Therefore, what information a person contains inside will determine the source of energy and will determine the material manifestation. You can imagine in this way: contained information represents energy, and energy represents material. Everything in this world has its own specific information, specific energy, and specific material manifestation. What does it mean when we see a person manifesting something outwardly? When we see a person manifesting something outwardly, it proves they contain a certain source of energy and a certain information inside of them to manifest it that way. For example, when we observe an angry person, we see that their facial expression and external behavior are very different from those of a peaceful person. Analyzing deeper, the angry person's energy manifestation is different from the peaceful person's energy manifestation, which proves the internal information they contain is different. 3. Can material be transformed into one another? We consider the external manifestation of material to be the outcome, is the internal information the cause, and is the source of energy the conditions. The internal cause manifested information, the external energy is the condition, and when enough energy begins to accumulate and condense, it creates trace the material, which is the outcome. But usually we just want to change the outcome. Scientists has proven that a material can be transformed into one another. It has successfully transformed into gold. It took many years and a high cost by changing the internal information structure. The energy changes, the external material changes. People have transformed alcohol young into food, condensed atom to meat, and created synthetical artificial diamonds that are potentially harder than natural diamonds. To achieve this with material can be adopted the same mindset regarding changing people. Example, healthy person and a sick person. Do we agree that health and sickness are both manifestation of the outcome? If we proceed to change the internal information of the sick person, the information of the healthy person, then the sick person's energy will change the healthy person's energy, and the material manifestation will become that of healthy person. So if we can change the deep-seated information within ourselves, we can change our life. What information is contained within us? Observe a computer. The information contained inside is the operating system and the software. The core lies in the operating system. Without it, application cannot be installed. So what is the information contained within us? Pages has pointed out to us what we know, what we believe, and what we understand is the information contained within us. It is simple. When anything is mentioned, how we know about it, how we believe in it, and how we understand it represents the information within us. Information within us is what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. In other words, what we know, what we believe, and what we understand will determine our life reality. Thus, reasonable instance regarding marriage, what we believe and now determines the reality of marriage. If we examine our marriage reality from the moral perspective, it is simply understood as what we know about marriage, what we believe about marriage, and how we understand marriage determines our marriage reality. Using the triangle of reality to interpret a person's reality. If someone has a reality about something, we immediately know how they know about it, how they believe in it, and how they understand it. We need to study fortune telling. We need the concept of the triangle of reality. Just by interacting and taking, if we know how they know marriage in a certain way, how they believe in marriage in a certain way, and how they understand marriage in a certain way, we can predict their marriage reality. So if someone currently has an undesirable marriage reality, is it because we know, believe, and understand is unfavorable situations? Exactly the source concept. Based on the triangle of reality, we can interpret everything in life. What we know, what we believe, and what we understand in language of the triangle of reality is called the source concept. The source concept we hold in our minds will determine our reality and shape its direction. This means that when something is mentioned, the source concept we hold about it and our reality concerning that thing. Concept must include all three corners: know, believe, and understand. We call a source concept. Source concept about peace and joy. Example: what is a person's source concept about peace and joy? In other words, how they know about peace and joy, how they believe in peace and joy, and how they understand peace and joy determines the reality of peace and joy. Anyone who contains many favorable source concepts within them will have a good reality. Based on a person's reality, we can trace back as follows. A person currently has an unfavorable reality, means they are holding unfavorable source concept. A person who has a good reality is in the desired direction, means they are holding favorable source concept. Point 2, source concept about finance. So, how do we change our reality about something? It's very simple. Whoever wants to change their financial reality, we change what we know about finance, what we believe about finance, and what we understand about finance. In other words, we change the source concept of finance, and we change the reality of finances. Whoever wants to change their health reality, perspective, we only need to change what we know about health, what we believe in about health, what we understand about health, and the health reality will change. In other words, we change our source concept about health, and we change
To
our health
everyone
reality.
perceive their finance reality,
Everyone
they
to
change
change
what
their
they know
reality
about
or
finance,
in
what
general.
we believe about
In
money,
general, all
and
of our life realities are determined by our source concept. To change reality in a positive direction, we need to change the source concept toward a favorable direction to master. Therefore, the first preconcept we need to master completely are scientific perspective, knowledge of the formula for the water, religious belief perspective, the structure of human beings, moral perspective with the knowledge of the triangle of reality, and yet in
realities are done in the past. To change your reality in a
frame of
positive
reference.
direction, you need to change your
Is the source concept of the source. The most foundational, basic, and primal source concept is called the reference. When the source concept also is in a favorable direction, it is called the standard frames of reference. The standard frame of reference will be able to develop
moral perspective
concept.
the triangle of
We will
reality.
change the information within us toward a more positive, more enlightened direction. Within us, moral perspective is the source concept. Within us, as well as within us, according to the moral perspective, is the favorable source concept within us. Centers of reference, within the frames of reference, we have just explored three major frames of reference that helps us interpret the cause of according to the formula for the water of life. Does anyone feel that based on this formula we can interpret everything in life? Cannot interpret the water of life, use the structure of human beings to explain everything. This explains even when we choose our parents according to the structure of human beings. This total karma that we are into that family. Or anyone who starts to complain or blame their parents or relative lacks the perspective of illusion and belief. Structure of human being because we have a total karma. We born into that family. Being born into the family means you must suffer oppression or sorrow for your parents or relative. Only then does it align with our total merit and virtues with good. You would have been born into a different family, but because your total karma is that way, you are compelled to be born into that family. As soon as you understand this, you realize that immediately that is a type of enlightenment about human life. Immediately we no longer blame family members because we have to dare our total karma as it after gaining insight to change the stage of happiness to change our total karma. The perspective of the triangle of reality, what we know, what we live, and what we understand represent our reality. Being more conscious than changing what we know, what we believe, and what we understand to change the reality of apply the frames of reference to life. Change a person's reality, change the source concept, change the electromagnetism within the person by accumulating merits and virtues, and change the mental images that change life will change. Someone asks us for advice on changing their life. What advice to give? Must help them understand what creates the root of their life. What is the root of a person's life? Priority of interpretation is a scientific perspective. Created experimental images you hold about state of being is within your mind determines your current life. Second thing is that your energy, vibration, frequency determines the material level you usually perceive of life. The third thing is the concept you hold in our mind, in your mind, determining your life attitude. To change mental images, you must accumulate merit and virtue to change the energetic expression frequency. Simultaneously, we must study to change the source concept in our minds. Then life will change, receiving, exploring reality with the concept of reality, interact with someone who has a good reality about something we desire.
Stimulus
and gives us their source
knowledge.
concept about happening. They let us know how they know, how they believe, and how they understand.
Want to transfer reality to others,
Present reality
only need
as
to let others know.
what if we want to transfer reality to others? We only need to let others know
In other words,
how we
the
know about it,
transfer concept they will have it
how we
accept
understand it.
reality.
In other words, we transfer the source of concept, the concept of them, and then we have changed the same reality as us.
And what if we want to transfer our reality to others? We only need to let others know how we behave, how we live it, and how we understand it. In other words, we transfer the source concept to them, and they will have the same reality as us.